Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie or She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the Lake Life collection from Bella Blvd. I am going to be using this dark blue cardstock from Basil for my background. I have noticed when I do use the Basil that if you just cut I guess I'll call it like a branding strip. If you just cut that off, it's actually over 12 inches. So I did kind of put my paper over 12 inches, and it was quite a big chunk that I had cut off there. I am going to add this scrap piece of paper that I had to the bottom just to add some more color. But then I'm kind of going to use this 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock for my base, I guess, and do kind of a grid layout. So all of my pieces, not my embellishment, but like my pieces are going to be on this white paper. So I do have these two 4x6 photos, and then I have this photo here that I'm going to trim down. I did cut it to 4x4, I believe, but then realized I wanted journaling in the middle of the two photos on the bottom, in that if I trimmed it down, because there's just a lot of water and air or sky, that I would give myself more space for journaling. So this layout took lots of measuring because I did want, I guess, all the spacing to be even. When I cut this water paper, I don't know, it must not be completely straight, or maybe the photo's not straight, but when I did piece those two together, it didn't seem straight whatsoever, even if when I use the T-square. But it is what it is, and it's not that noticeable. But I do remember when I was creating this layout that it just didn't seem like the spacing between the two were even top to bottom. But I am going to add some white cardstock on top of that kind of wave paper for my journaling. And then I knew I wanted this at the lake for my title, and it fits perfectly in that space. But again, I wanted to bring some more color to the layout. So I did decide to use another piece of the scrap plaid paper and add that to the top. Again, lots of measuring to make sure that my spacing was good in between all of the pieces. But I liked how this looked and helped kind of incorporate that paper somewhere else on the layout. And I did feel like because the title had a white background, it stood out enough from that plaid paper. Otherwise, I would have used kind of a less busy paper, but I felt like because it was a solid piece, a solid title, I guess, it was fine up there. I did pop it up on some foam tape to give it a little bit of dimension. And then we're almost done. I mean, we're pretty much done with the base then. Embellishing was a little tricky for me, but I am happy with the way that it all turned out. Now I'm going to cut the journaling spot. And again, I think this is where too, it kind of, when I add this, seems like the pieces are not straight. I don't know if it is my paper cutter or what, but I was going to ask what you guys use for a paper cutter, because my blades are starting to dull and there are replacement blades. But what I'm finding is that I don't think Cricut is making the paper cutters anymore. So to find the replacement blades is almost impossible as well. So what are you guys using? What do you prefer? If you have a Cricut paper cutter, have you found somewhere that the replacement blades are that I can buy? Let me know. That is one thing that I'm probably going to be on the hunt for soon, just because I don't know. When I cut the cardstock, it kind of frays, and I just don't want that. It's not a clean cut anymore. All right, back to embellishing. I loved this frame, and it just brought that blue down to the bottom. And so I did use that for a base. It ended up even saying "so wet," and that was just perfect for that photo on the bottom. And so I did have a heart, and that said the best, and then I had a flare from Scrap and Happy Studio that said the beach with an arrow, And it just, that cluster came together so well, but it was the top. And then kind of figuring out, the titles at the top left, where else should I embellish? What should I add? That sort of a thing. I did like that summer and that swim because I felt like it kind of worked together, summer swim. And I liked too how it overlapped the photo. Again, a lot of sky in that photo, but it worked. That I could embellish on top of the photo. I did add the sun to the title just to kind of spruce that up a little bit. Oh, I guess I didn't tape that down yet. Just kind of playing around with the pieces and where to put them. This collection has, I have a lot of the collection and just so many good pieces that I was just kind of stumped, I guess. So looking at it, I decided to add this back up to the top, pop the summer up on foam tape, again overlapping the photo there. And then I'm going to have the swim kind of tuck up underneath of that. I will end up coming back to that and adding to it. It just didn't look finished to me. It just seemed like it needed more, especially since the bottom left had, I guess, more pieces to it. I do love the waves and all of the different kind of shapes of waves that are in this collection. And I thought about bringing them down, but again, that plaid paper is pretty busy. I didn't want to kind of add to that, I guess. So what you see on the bottom is, I think, what I just end up doing. There's one bigger wave with a cute little fish with some bubbles. It's not like not that there's a distinguished fish between fishing or swimming, but this one looked cuter than, I guess, a fish I would add on a fishing page. I don't know, just the thought process that I go through, I guess, especially with boys and knowing that I'm going to use this collection a lot for fishing layouts. This little fish was too cute for a fishing layout, I thought. Anyways, I did sneak in another flare from Scrap and Happy Studio at the top. I did have to move over that foam tape a little bit so that I was able to tuck that underneath. And then I brought out my enamel dots. So I think I got these wood containers from the Target dollar spot quite a while ago, a couple years ago, but they are perfect for storing these enamel dots. And it came with different sizes as well. So I know somebody asked how I store things, and I don't really have a great solution. I do like having my enamel dots really close to me. It's just a really good finishing piece, so those usually are quite close to me. But I do tend to keep all of my embellishments with the same, like with the proper collections, and the embellishments that I have that are not part of a larger collection that I own are literally in a pile in a drawer next to me. So I do turn to that if I need a finishing piece, but it is literally just piled in a drawer right next to me. So nothing great, but I do keep all of the collections together that I have. So again, just finished off the layout with some enamel dots, added those throughout the clusters there. But I will link this collection down below for you. It's a great outdoor collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.